Welcome everyone to the Tuesday, May 24th, 2022 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We're being taped tonight by MCTV, and we're also using the remote system. And if you're dialing in on a phone, please use *6 to mute and unmute yourself. We'll have to start by having us chirp off that we're here.
Who's participating remotely, if anybody?
All right. Steve Feeney, are you out there?
He will be.
He's
we only have one person on remote tonight.
okay.
So when he shows up and begins participating, you just have to let everybody know that he's participating remotely.
Okay.
Everybody else is in person.
So we don't have to announce ourselves.
Nope.
All right. Okay, so do I have to do the roll call though?
We'll move to open the meeting,
All right.
and then you can get right into your agenda.
All right. So as I said, the meeting is being recorded by MCTV, and I'm going to open the meeting up. And our first new hearing is 22-44, Joseph and Ellen Dunford. The petitioners are seeking a special court permit in accordance with 305-10-12 and a variance according with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.02 to construct a 14-foot by 21-foot addition on the existing deck on the property located at 14 12th Street Road, which is further identified on the assessor maps as being on parcel L10-18-07 and is located in the R3 zoning district. Are they here? Oh,
Do I need to go up and see?
oh, well, you just have to present your, whatever you're
There's
presenting.
there's no chairs up there.
Oh, there's
for
no
her to present.
So you want me to?
Get that right on it. Yeah, just talk, no, just put two chairs up there.
What do you want? You want to sit there?
You can sit up here if you want.
Oh, yeah.
There's no chairs.
Sure. So we have a pre-existing deck, which is, I don't know, it's like 4 feet off the ground, which we would like to put a glassed-in room on top of it. It won't be tied into the heating system, but it'll be a 4-season room with a roof.
Okay.
And so it will be on that pre-existing deck to the rear of the property.
All right. So Andrew, in the setbacks, this is just an open deck, so they're looking to come in, but it's on it's a side, right?
No, it's the very,
There is no rear.
so the 12th Road is the front.
Well, Oster Ave and 12th Road are fronts, so you only have 2 fronts and 2 sides, you don't have a rear.
Oh, is that what it
No,
is? It's
so
to the rear of my
their
house.
Their rear setback is ultimately the issue. When they build this enclosure, then it will encroach the 30-foot setback requirement. That's what they're seeking a variance from, I believe.
But I don't believe we need it, Bob, because they only have 2 fronts and 2 sides.
I don't know exactly I didn't know which side it was
We'll go
going
back,
on.
Karen,
Well, on
can you
the
go back to
drawings-
the plot plan? So Oster Ave is a
Foster-
front.
it's
Foster,
Foster.
sorry. Foster Ave and 12th Road are fronts. So you don't have a rear. You have 2 fronts and 2 sides.
So I'll just tell you what my determination was. Is if they use, because they can determine whichever road to be frontage. So if they determine Foster Ave to be their front sideline, then this is their rear sideline. And then this is their side, and this is considered another front. But this would be the frontage of their property, and this would be their front line, making this their rear line. which in case they're already non-conforming to the rear, they wouldn't need a variance to do this project. They would only need a special permit.
Okay. Do you,
And if they use 12, then they need the variance?
see, I don't know, Bob, do they have a rear on this property?
They have two fronts, so in my opinion, the others are sides.
Sides, yeah.
So let me just look at 608, because I think it's 608. Is that right, Andrew, 608?
I believe so, but it does say that the rear is determined by which street line you determine to be the frontage, to be the front line. That line, whichever you determine which street line is going to be the front of the property, that determines which line is going to be considered the rear for rear setback requirements.
Have we done that?
So my address, which is,
It's
which
just
is,
for
We're gonna take a
zoning
look at it.
purposes.
I don't believe you have a rear. I think you have two sides and two fronts. But
We don't need it either way, do we?
I think the rear is established, I mean, the front is established for your address.
But he's saying either way, you don't have enough. You don't have enough.
same.
All right. Were we looking at 608?
Yeah, but I don't think there's a rear. I know we've had houses with three fronts and no rear.
All right, so it's in the definitions anyway.
Odd corner.
It's in the definitions, Bob.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they get to designate which line is their front lot line for the purposes of determining what line will be designated the rear line.
That's right, yep.
So if you looked at the Foster Avenue being the frontage, it would be a side yard and it'd be okay. This doesn't mean that its legal frontage isn't on 12th Road,
Yeah.
but it also has frontage on Foster Ave.
It has frontage
It's
on.
more advantageous for it to have its front yard on Foster Ave, they should do that, so it's a special permit as opposed to a variance.
So where they declare it.
Right.
Okay?
The board can construe it too.
Yeah, because the front door and the address is 12th Road.
Fine.
But the purpose
It's
is,
explaining
Yeah,
this for
I
zoning. Just doesn't understand it.
yeah, so just for the purposes of what we're doing, you can have either Foster Ave or 12th Ave as your frontage. And I
Okay.
personally think it's two sides, but I guess you can use that to determine the rear. We used to use that, but
It's more advantageous for you to, even though your street address is 12th Road,
to use
it's more
Foster.
advantageous for you to use Foster Avenue as your frontage for zoning purposes. That doesn't mean your address
Got
changes.
it.
It's just
In
what
any way,
you're
shape, or
declaring
form.
as your frontage.
It makes a difference because.
Well,
in
whatever
one-
works, whatever lets me get my frontage is whatever lets me get my sunroom.
Yeah, so that, then,
It's actually, it's an easier standard for the board to construe frontage being on Foster Avenue, so.
Got it.
so now this just becomes a special permit.
Correct.
And we'll make the variance moot. And they did require,
So in your findings, the board would find that for zoning purposes, the frontage is Foster Avenue, and as such, the proposed sunroom,
is legal.
is not substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood as proposed.
All right, Andrew, do you want to put up our findings, I guess?
I don't know that
Oh,
I
do
have
we-
any of your findings,
Oh, we
sorry.
don't have the one that's.
Do you, it's on my memo, Andrew.
On Bob's memo.
Okay,
I think I sent it to Andrew, too.
44.
Isn't it just 11?
Planning board had no. Bill had a comment on Spring Street. Get rid of that.
okay, see that now?
You get rid
Yeah.
of that.
So here are your findings.
Page 14 through 16, Andrew.
Okay, so for the variance, we're,
That's the variance.
right. And that's gonna be moved, so.
This is the special permit.
All right. So I'm ready to close.
The board of the public, you could go
Oh,
to
do
public.
we have any, from the public that wants to speak on this? Anyone from the board? Andrew, anything else from you?
No, that's it.
Okay. So I make a motion that we close 22-44, 14 12th Road. Have a second?
Second, Larry Keane.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensey, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Belazos, aye.
All right. Then I'm gonna make a motion that we accept the special permit,
Grant it.
grant the special permit with the conditions that it met. Andrew, can you put that back up there?
With the finding that Foster Ave will be the frontage.
So with the finding of the Foster Ave will be the frontage,
For zoning purposes.
and we agree to the terms and conditions 1 through 10 here.
Let me help you out with this motion.
Go ahead.
The motion would be to grant the special permit based on the findings contained in section 10.12, subject to the condition that an as-built plan be required prior to, prior to the occupancy certificate issued. And
What he
based on
said.
the owner's designation as Foster Avenue as its frontage for zoning purposes.
What he said. Sounds good, Bob. So, do I have a second?
Second.
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensey, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Belazos, aye.
Oh, Feeney's not in on this one. All right, and then do I have to,
No, I think just, I'll say it once and then you can adopt it from now. So what's gonna happen now is the board has 14 days to draft its decision. Once the decision is issued, there's a 20-day appeal period. You'll record the decision at the registry of deeds, and then you'll be able to get your building permit, assuming there's no appeal.
Still have variance.
Oh, yeah, and you're
And we
gonna
get
move
it-
to deny the variances moved.
deny the variance is moved? Okay. Do we have to vote to deny the
Yep.
variance is moved?
Move to deny variances
All right,
moved.
so we're gonna move to, the variance to be denied as moot. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensey, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Belazos, aye.
All right, so that's it, right?
Yep, you're all set.
You're done.
Thanks.
Thanks,
I
Bob.
never knew that frontage.
Yeah, it's nice. Some houses have 3, some even have 4. I'm glad we identified that tonight, though.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good luck.
All right, so now we have 22-40, 66 Edmund Road LLC. Petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-902.c and 305-10.12 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct a second-story addition, a 5 by 28-foot porch, and a 12-foot by 14-foot deck on the property located at 66 Edmund Road, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel D200133 and is located in an R1 zoning district.
Brian, do you want to,
Read the other one in too?
open both hearings and
I'm
hold them
going to open your
contemporaneously?
second one too. So 22-41, 66 Edmund Road LLC. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-13.02.c, .01, and 305-10.12, and a variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.07 to construct a 4-foot by 203-foot portion of a pier, a 22-foot by 20-foot portion of a pier, a 3-foot by 35-foot gangway, and a 10-foot by 20-foot float on the property located on Edmond Road, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel D20-01-34, and is located in an R1 zoning district. All right, you hear from the applicant?
Yes. For the record, Gregory Morse, registered engineer, Morse Engineering. And with me is Don Gillespie of 66 Edmond Road LLC, the applicant. What was just read into the record was our first request, which is a special permit specifically in regards to 66 Edmond Road, which is an existing single-family home. The property was built approximately 1955. It's a one-story ranch house. The nonconformity here is the lot area. It's located in the R1 zoning district. This lot only has 22,134 square feet. It is entirely upland land area, and as depicted on the plan here, you'll see that the house conforms dimensionally with all setbacks, front yard, rear yard, and side yard. For purposes of this application, I considered Carolyn Circle the frontage, and the rear yard is the line completely opposite of that. Yep. So off of Edmond would be, again, a front yard setback, but the opposite line would be a side yard there. The proposal here is to construct a second-story addition over the existing footprint. We submitted architectural plans. The second story would be, a dormered style second story. It would take the square footage of the house, which exists today at approximately 1,700 square feet. It adds about 1,000 square feet, so it puts it up right around 2,700 square feet on that second level in its entirety. Secondly, we proposed, there you go, so there's the dormers into the roof section of the architecture. We also proposed 2 additions outside of the existing footprint. Along the front of the house, we're proposing a farmer's porch. It's a 5 by 28 foot farmer's porch, and on the back of the house, a 12-foot by 14-foot deck. The porch and the deck comply with all zoning setbacks. We'd turn it over to you. We felt this was in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, met all zoning requirements for setbacks, obviously, and had no impact on the lot size. The use remains unchanged. It's an allowed use in the zoning district.
Andrew, do you have any comments?
No, this is really straightforward. They just have
I
an
agree.
undersized lot. Everything else is great.
All right, any comments from the board? Bob, you have anything?
No.
Anything from the public? Seeing there's none.
I do.
Oh,
Sorry, just a
sorry.
question. So Steve O'Connell, 205 Carolyn Circle. He mentioned that it's a single-family home. Just wondering, with this additional second floor, is it still going to remain single-family, or is he planning on renting it out? Is it going to be multiple families?
Single-family home.
It's a single-family home.
As far as renting it out goes, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it, if I'll occupy it myself or rent it out, not sure.
There's nothing in the plans that indicate that it won't be a single-family dwelling.
I agree. Anything else from the audience?
Concern over the septic system, do we know where it's going on the property? I know that the property got some issues with septic right now.
There was an approved septic system on record with the Board of Health. I think it's yet to be installed, but it's a 3-bedroom system designed to accommodate this.
Anything else?
Greg, do you know where the septic system is proposed? Front yard, rear yard?
Front,
Yard?
yeah, front right, facing, facing the house off of Edmond Road. Where the family room is, to the left of the to the right of the existing stairs, in that area right there. Towards the,
Toward Edmond Road
yeah,
a little
toward
bit more.
Edmond Road. Right down there, yep.
But you already have an approved plan with the Board of Health, correct?
That's correct.
Any other questions?
The amount of water that's coming off of Spring Street down through that area is incredible. You know, we've had concerns about the house for a while with the septic system failing.
Could you say your name for the record?
David Flasher, 206 Carolyn Circle.
Thank you.
Just concerns about septic system being there and what's gonna end up on the street.
Okay. Seems
Well,
like
if they have an approved system already on record, it shouldn't be ended up on the street. It would be an upgrade to what is already existing there.
Anything else from the audience? All right, seeing that there's none, so I can close this one first, or should I keep them both
Why
open?
don't you have them make their presentation on the dock and the pier as well?
All right, Greg, so why don't you do the dock next?
Great. So the second notice that was read in to the record was the application for a separate assessor's parcel detached from this, but on the same deed. The parcel is D2001-34, which is at the bottom of Edmund Road. It's approximately an 8,113 square foot parcel that the same applicant owns. It was previously developed with a dock that extends out to the North River. I brought for reference 2 pictures of that dock as it exists today, and I'll pass these around so you can get a little bit better picture, but it's in extremely poor condition. The proposal is to construct a new dock largely in the same location as the existing. From the end of Edmund Road, it extends out, as depicted in the pictures here, over the salt marsh. Over the salt marsh, we have approximately 203 feet of 4-foot wide wooden pier that would be on pilings. At the end of the pier, there exists an approximately 22-foot by 20-foot landing or a pier at the end, depicted in that picture. That would be reconstructed in the same place. And then off of that down to the water is a 3-foot by 35-foot aluminum gangway and a 10-foot by 20-foot float that would be out on the river itself. We conducted a survey of the water depths at this location. This will have to go to the Conservation Commission. It will also have to go to the Army Corps of Engineers. But this is a location where there was an existing dock. There's navigable water. We don't feel that we're impeding anyone's rights within that location. This has been designed in accordance with DEP's residential dock requirements, as well as the Town of Marshfield Conservation Commission dock requirements. As you can see from the pictures, what's there is in extremely poor condition.
Got it?
That's it.
Anything from the board? Andrew, you have anything on this?
The only thing that I would let Greg know is we're going to be starting something called a floodplain permit, and it's going to be kind of the starting point for all these things. I think you've done the right thing here, coming to the ZBA first and incorporating this into the beginning steps. But going forward, I just want to let you know, if you have any questions, come down to the building department and talk to me about the process. But we'll be starting up in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be starting with this floodplain permit that'll kind of give you the way to go through all these boards and stuff. But as far as the rest of it, it's, technically it's on a separate parcel, but it's pre-existing non-conforming, and it's just replacement of this structure. So they'll need a building permit eventually, but everything else will fall in line with Chapter 91 and Army Corps and Conservation as well.
Thank you.
Is this a community dock? There's some notes about that, or is it?
It wasn't. I asked
It wasn't? You
Mr.
did?
Morse. I
Okay.
thought this might have been a community dock, but this one wasn't.
The
Do you have any-
community dock is right alongside this one, correct? Well, pretty close.
Yes.
Do you have anything, Bob?
Nothing else to add. This is the same request you get for almost every dock.
Every dock.
And we have our standard conditions for the dock, no
Yep.
electricity, that type of stuff. So those would all be standard conditions.
Okay. Anything from the audience?
Yes,
Go ahead. Name and address for the record.
Patty Riley, 196 Carolyn Circle, and I'm the president of the Tanglewood Club, which is right next door to this dock. First, I want to say thank you so much for repairing this dock. We've been worried that it was going to break apart and hit our dock for years. The questions that we have I guess it probably will not be being built this season. When it is going to be built, we share the road down to our adjoining paths, and we're just concerned about how will all of the equipment get down there, and will this impede the Tanglewood Club members to get down to our dock?
Do you have an answer for that, Greg?
So permitting of a dock is a lengthy process. It's not going to be constructed this season, for sure. I would be hopeful that it could be constructed potentially next springtime, after it's been through Army Corps and Conservation Commission. There'll be probably some barge work required out in the water itself, with a temporary rig set up to drive the piles at the end. The piles that are through the salt marsh would typically be done with a tripod setup as opposed to heavy machinery of any kind. I'm sure the applicant can work with you on concerns about access down the trail there. I'm sure there'll be, foot traffic for sure, bringing material down as it's needed. We can work with you as we move forward.
Great, thank you.
Is there a plan for where you're gonna store the floating portion in the winter?
So the previous application, 66 Edmund Road, is right up the street from here, so it can be removed and, stored at that property, so it's not stored on the salt marsh. Yep.
Anything else from the audience? Seeing that there's none. Anything else from the board? I'm gonna make a motion that we close 22-40, 66 Edmund Road, LLC, special permit. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Robert Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellows, aye.
And I'm gonna make a motion that we close 22-41, 66 Edmund Road, LLC, special permit and variance for the dock. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Robert Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellows, aye.
Should they review the conditions?
All right, so now we can accept the special permit with,
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do the house first?
which one do you have up there, Andrew?
Well, I've got the house here now.
All right, so we can do that one first. Do you have the, our list that goes with that, 1 to 10?
I'll bring up the bylaw, that's the easiest thing. Oh, sorry. These are the
They're right there, yeah.
conditions here.
So, the board agrees that, this application is fulfilled by and meets these, standards 1 to 10? Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
All right, so now I can make a motion that we will approve 22-40, 66 Edmund Road LLC, special permit for the second-story addition. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Robert Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellows, aye.
All right, now we put up the dock, Andrew.
Brian, can I just jump in? Are there any conditions on that?
House, we didn't have any.
Just the as-built plan to confirm
Yeah, the standard
setbacks.
stuff that goes with the building permit.
And it has built building permit and a certificate of occupancy.
Those are all included in your end of it, right?
Yes, they'll be, yeah, that's just regular stuff.
Yeah. All right, so, can you pull up the dock? Then do you have our conditions for the dock?
Yes, just a moment. Here are the dock conditions.
Do I have to read these in, Bob?
One thing I wanted clarification on, some of the older dock permits from 3, 4, 5 years ago say no sewer or electrical, and then the newer ones say no sewer or lighting, and I just didn't, I didn't know if the board wanted to, if it was electrical that they were concerned about or lighting.
I think the reason we went to lighting was we don't have a problem with the plug being down there. I think it's, we just don't want the lighting. Is that correct?
It seems weird, wouldn't you want some type of lighting on a dock?
No, they were allowed, I thought they were allowed,
Like solar lights, right?
yeah.
But no.
So would we have to remove that?
It's up to you to decide whether you want to prohibit electrical and lighting, or just electrical. So, I mean,
If they plug the lamp into the plug.
Yeah,
well,
Okay.
the issue is like shore power for a boat,
right.
you know, and it's really up to you all to decide whether you want them to do that, okay? Or be able to do that.
What's the downside of that?
Well, I think we moved away from saying electricals because we allowed them to have power.
I mean, there's
on the
always
dock.
been kind of a, because of the nature of the march, not wanting lighting out there.
Right, but I thought we allowed the gangway to be lit, but the dock area not.
I don't remember any lighting at all. And there was a period of time where we said no electrical too.
I know we allowed back the plugs, maybe we just got rid of the gangway lighting.
Then if you want to allow them to have electrical but no lighting, you leave it the way it is here.
Okay. So I guess we'll, is the board in agreement?
Remember, the reason you need a variance here is this is in the coastal wetlands district.
Right,
And it's located very close to the lot line where it wouldn't be able to be built right now, so it doesn't meet a number of the dimensional requirements. It's a pre-existing, non-conforming dock, and it still exists, even though it's not in great shape. So you can grant the variance for that if you choose to do that. And then the special permit under 1010 and 1302 is a little different than the ordinary 10 factors. There's only 6 factors, but it has to be a use that's allowed by special permit in the district, which a dock is. You have to determine that the use is essential but desirable to the public convenience or welfare. It will not create undue traffic congestion or unduly impair pedestrian safety, won't overload any public water drainage or sewer system, and any use or developed use in the immediate area will not be subjected to additional hazards affecting health, safety, and welfare. So,
Does that neighboring dock have electrical on it?
does the dock from the, no electrical?
No electrical.
And no lighting?
No.
All right.
It just seems so weird they wouldn't have some type of lighting on the dock.
I know, but we've been through this many times.
well, I mean, it's a practical matter. If you allow electrical, everybody that doesn't have electrical will be in shortly looking for electrical.
Right.
I think we currently allow electrical, we just
What?
don't allow lighting.
What?
I know we removed the word electrical and went to lighting because,
I don't remember that, but
I do, we removed it because we allowed to have
Look at it,
plugs
whatever
in.
your board says.
Yeah, we'll have
If
to agree
you
on it.
decide you're going to allow electrical here, all the people that were previously denied electrical, and there was a lot, will be asking for it.
So Andrew, how long ago did this language change? Can you pull up that R15?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I
It might be
remember
a better
discussing
question
it.
for Nancy if she has any clue, but I just know from people requesting, electrical service out to their docks through an electrical permit through our system, I've had to ask them to go to the ZBA because their permit language says no electrical to their dock, so I've told people to go to the ZBA to seek relief because of that language. And so I'm just asking for clarification from the ZBA so that we're consistent. Is it gonna be electrical or is it gonna be lighting? Because there will be folks that come to the board now looking to have electrical service to the dock, regardless of this decision, but they're just gonna be coming for it anyway.
Is there a way to put something in saying that it can't be used for shore power? It can be used for,
We can add anything we want. Can you
That
put
would
our,
be the main purpose for having it, I think.
yeah, I know.
Andrew, will you pull those back up again? I mean, I
Charge your
honestly,
cell phone while you're,
I think the language should say it as it is, Brian.
that's how we changed it to this,
No
because,
electrical,
What?
no, we
electrical, allowing electrical.
allowed
motors.
electrical,
Yeah.
but we
like
didn't allow
boat,
lighting, I
shore-
remember.
Shore power, that boat.
To me, it
on the boat.
honestly doesn't make any sense. If
Yeah,
you've
it's
got some
like- it
puck
charges
lights
them,
down there,
it's just basically-
just
it's
so you
a house
just see
service
where you're
for the boat.
going, but I
Yeah.
guess, and carry a flashlight.
So why would we, I don't
The,
ever
the
remember.
way it used to read was, it would say there shall be no sewer, water, or electrical.
Or electrical.
Yeah, and then it would say if the applicants want to pursue that at a later date. So it was changed from there will be no sewer, water, or electrical to there shall be no sewer or light.
Right, because we allowed water down there, and we allowed the electrical, but we didn't allow the lighting or sewer. So I'm
Does
okay
anybody
with the way it
recall that?
stands. How does the board
recall
feel
that?
on this?
I feel like electrical should stay. I can see the idea of the lighting, so it doesn't look like you've got all these runways through the marsh.
Yeah.
But I think there
You okay with
would be a need for electrical.
You okay with it, Heidi?
No, I just don't remember, however long I've
But
been
we
here that we
removed
did that.
water, we allowed them to start having water down there, and then we allowed electrical, but we put in lighting. We changed the language.
I wonder when we did that, because like, if
was years
if that
ago.
was an issue, then why wouldn't people already be
I
here?
guess you'd
Like,
have
why
to
would
look
it
at
be-
when Andrew sees them, when that language changed in our dock application.
What, is there a downside to having one or the other, or not, or like?
Well, we allowed them to run water down there, and then we allowed them to have electrical down there. The lighting, I guess, we assumed, I remember discussing puck lights out there, but we went to a flashlight.
The only concern would be, once you put power down there, then they're inevitably going to run extension cords and lights down there. I mean, people are going to use it for whatever use they want to.
Well, then they'll be in violation of what we've
Well,
given them.
can't they do it
Yeah,
right
but
now?
then, there's another thing that, do we, and now am I gonna be going and enforcing lights that string lights that they plug onto their, dock or whatever out there,
But aren't they allowed to do it right now, the way this is worded? Have electrical down there, they can have string lights or?
No, they can't have lights. It clearly says no
Oh, they can have
lighting.
lights, but they can have the electrical out there.
No, they
to do-
can't have lights, but they can have electrical, meaning that you could bring power down there to work on your boat or whatever you're doing, but you can't have
What'll
lighting.
end up happening is people will sit on their boat, plug it into power, and it'll be a area where you could congregate.
Yeah,
That's the impact, I think.
the shore power, yeah.
All part of having a dock.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. We never, Chris, you okay with it?
Well, this is if this is the language we've been using, like,
We have been,
can of worms if you start changing.
yeah.
So,
Steve, you okay with it?
and I see the argument not to have lights. Okay.
No, yeah, no lights, but we don't allow them.
No, I guess I'm okay with it as long as consistent with what we've done.
Well, that's what we've been doing, so. All right, do you have any other questions on there, Andrew?
That's it.
All right, Bob, you have anything?
No, just again, both with respect to the house and with respect to the dock, you'd need an as-built plan, building permit, and occupancy certificates.
That was good.
And it'd be subject to obtaining an order of conditions from the Conservation Commission and a Chapter 91 waterways license from the Army Corps of Engineers.
So they don't get a building permit for the dock, just for the house?
We're now giving building permits for the docks.
Are we doing building permits for the docks, Andrew?
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
If the dock is beginning in an upland area
Yeah.
that's outside of the salt marsh and it's outside or it's beyond the high water line, if any part of the dock is above the high water line, the Army Corps of Engineers, the Chapter 91 license is only,
So it ends
they're
there?
only concerned with everything beneath the high water line.
All right.
So technically, the rest of it is under our jurisdiction and requires a permit.
No, I remember we had this discussion, so now it's been rectified. That's good.
I think it's important to have that building permit, particularly if they're gonna have electrical anyways.
Well, yeah, we had that discussion, but then we were told it was under the Army Corps. So, all right, well, that's good news. All right, so now,
By the way, the questions raised by some of the, abutters about, and the board by access here, the Conservation Commission will, make conditions that limit their ability to drive equipment and tell them how they'll put the pilings in.
yeah, I mean, that's gonna be handled by their board.
It will.
So, all right, so now I closed the house, now I have to close this, and do I have to read those conditions off, or can I adopt them?
you can adopt those standard conditions that we displayed on the screen.
We close.
So there's no
How many are there total?
15.
change to lighting.
All right, so I can move to approve 22-4166 Edmund Road LLC.
Yes.
Do I have to read all the variant stuff into this thing? Bob?
As well.
You should.
All right. So I'm moving that we approve 22-4166 Edmund Road LLC, being in accordance with 305-13.02.C.01 and 305-10-12, and a variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.07 to construct a 4-foot by 203-foot portion of a pier, 22-foot by 20-foot portion of a pier, 3-foot by 35-foot gangway, and a 10 by 20 float on the property located at Edmund Road, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel D20-01-34 and is located in the R1 district. So, and I'm gonna adopt 1 to 15 on our dock standards. And do I have to add anything else? We'll have to go with the 1 through 6 that you just, we don't have the 1 to 10 on this, right?
No,
It's 1 to 6.
it's only 6 standards. It's on page 4 of my recommended findings.
Andrew, you go to page 4 on the recommended findings. Thankfully, I don't have that.
You want me to just tell you what?
Yeah, sure, you can read them up there.
So you have to determine that the use is listed on the table of use regulations as a special permit use in the coastal wetlands district. The board has to determine that it's essential or desirable to the public convenience and welfare to have this dock. The requested use will not create undue traffic congestion or unduly impair pedestrian safety. It will not overload public water drainage or sewer systems or other municipal systems, or to the extent that it would adversely affect any other developed use in the immediate area, and cause it to be subject to hazards affecting health, safety, or welfare. There are no other special use regulations that apply, and the other finding is that it will not impair the integrity or character of the district or the adjoining zones or be detrimental to health, morals, and welfare by approving the dock. Those are the standards.
All right, so I move to approve those and attach them. And what else? I have 1 to 15, 1 to 6.
Just to do them separate, just do special permit and then variance.
All right, so we'll do the variance first. And that's the 1 to 6, right?
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
So the motion would be to grant a variance subject to conditions based on a finding that there are unique circumstances to the applicant's lot or structure that do not apply to neighboring lands or structures. Strict application of the bylaw would deprive an applicant of the reasonable use of the lot. Conditions are not the result of the actions of the applicant. The relief, if approved, will not cause substantial detriment to the public good or impair the purposes and intent of the bylaw. And the relief, if approved, will not grant a special privilege inconsistent with the limitation on other properties in the district.
All right. So that's the variance.
Correct.
All right. Make a motion that we accept that.
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Mills, aye.
Now we have to act on the special permit. So I already read that in. And
So the motion would be to grant the special permit, subject to the 15 special conditions.
the 6 other conditions, right?
Correct, based on the 6 findings and the 15 special conditions that are standard for docks in the coastal wetlands district.
Accept that. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensey, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Mills, aye.
All right, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Now we have 22-42, Pompeo and Linda Leone. The petitioners are seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-10.12 of the Marshfield Municipal Code. Increase the existing second story by widening the door and raising the roof 6'2" on the property located at 670 Ocean Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel L09-17-02 and is located in the R3 zoning district. And are you here for this?
Yes, I am. I'm Dick Rockwood. I'm here for the Pompeo and Linda Leone. It's an existing two-story house right now, but the upstairs is very limited. Has 2 bedrooms and does not have a bathroom. So our intent is to expand the second floor, still being just a 2-story. There you go. So we're actually changing the roof structure because it's very, very low pitch. And adding a couple of dormers on there so that we can get our bedrooms and a bathroom on the upstairs. As I said, it's an existing upstairs, but it's not very usable, very low pitch. This is the existing structure right there, so. We have 2 little balconies where they can walk out of the bedrooms on the upstairs on the new version, but it's just a 2-foot overhang.
And the mean average on the roof?
Mean average on the roof, I can't see it from here.
29 and a half.
29?
To the top, to the ridge.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, it's well.
Yeah, and that's actually from the lowest grade,
Yeah.
so we're
All right.
well under that.
Andrew, you have any questions?
That this plan will be subject to substantial improvement determination.
Okay. Anything from the board?
And if it's determined to be a substantial improvement, they're going to have to elevate and change their foundation, which I'm not sure if that would require them to come back to the board or not. Maybe Bob, if you want to, do you think if they had to change the foundation, would that affect what the ZBA is doing right now or no?
Not as long as it didn't exceed the height requirement of the bylaw.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know whether there'd be any impact on stairs or decks or things like that. I didn't know whether it was in the flood zone or not, Andrew, so I didn't comment on that, so I'm glad you mentioned it. The only other comment that I had was the shed is located like a foot from the property line.
We're not endorsing the shed.
Right. You know, when the board acts on this, we don't approve the location of the shed, and I don't know how long that shed's been there.
Our goal is to stay under the 50% and not get into the elevating of the structure. We would cut things back or take off the balcony or do something to make the math work to satisfy the FEMA requirements.
Okay. Do you have any questions from the board?
Nope.
Any questions from the public? Seeing that there's none, I'll make a motion that we close 22-42, Pompeo and Linda Leone, 670 Ocean Street. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Henslee, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bell's
Does anyone see a reason why anyone want to discuss this, or are we okay with this project?
Public.
I'm good with it.
I'm good.
So, I'm going to make a motion to grant 22-42, Pompeo and Linda Leone, 670 Ocean Street, giving a special permit in accordance with 305-10.12, and on the lot being identified as L09-17-02 in the R3 zoning district.
Yeah, and then your
Now we're
condition,
gonna add in-
your conditions would be, you know, if it triggers the substantial construction floodplain requirements, then they'll have to elevate and be under the height limitations under the bylaw, and you're not blessing the shed.
Yeah, we're not endorsing the shed. So, Andrew, can you put up the special permit 1 to 10? Findings. Is everyone in agreement with 1 through 10 on the board? I am. All right, so we'll adopt those into the, into our finding.
Any other
Anything
conditions?
else? No, I don't have, we have no other
Occupancy,
conditions.
no.
What's that?
No occupancy, no as-built.
There'll be
mean,
building
that's all-
permit, occupancy permit as built.
Yeah, those are all standard in the building permit, so, but I guess we can put them in too. So do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Wallace was aye.
All right, you're all set.
Okay, thank you very much.
So next we have 22-39, Sarah Dennis Silver and Deacon Silver. The petitioners are seeking a variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-11.09.C.6 and a special permit in accordance with 305-11.09 to create an accessory apartment in the recently approved 2239, 31-foot-6 by 25-feet, two-story addition on the property located at 227 Webster Avenue, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel M07-01-24 and is located in the R3 zoning district. Are you this
Yep.
again?
I'm Dick Rockwood. I'm here to discuss the Silva project. We're looking to add an accessory dwelling within our addition that we're also here to ask, because we are non-conforming on the right side as you look at that front elevation. We probably have a site plan that'll show you the dimensional setbacks, but because we're not, so our addition will be conforming, but the existing house is non-conforming on that side. And we're asking for the variance for the accessory dwelling also. It's a Cape-style house, and with our addition's a Cape-style, fairly low profile, so we're not really changing the look.
And how many square feet is the lot?
I'd have to look at the site plan.
Andrew, can you pull up the site plan? What, is it a variance? Because, did that get accepted yet, Bob? Or you still have to give the variances on the 3-year
It has
waiting?
not been approved. The Attorney General asked for an extension, so, which they were given for 90 days.
All right, so we have to keep doing that. All right.
So, but the lot does meet the requirement for the R1, the R3 zone,
All right.
the 10,000 square feet, I know that it does.
Any questions from the board?
I'm good.
Andrew, you have anything to add?
No, it was clear from the plans that the square footage meets the bylaw requirement.
Okay. Bob, you have anything?
Nope.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we close 22-39A. Oh, sorry, anyone from the public? Make a motion that we close 22-39A, Sarah Dennis Silver and Deacon Silver, 227 Webster Ave. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Wallace was aye.
So, the board want to deliberate, or are we all set with this? Good. All right, so I'll make a motion that, so Bob, do I have to do the variance and the special permit separate?
Yes. Should take a vote on the variance because they're proposing to renovate the home and add an in-law apartment without waiting the 3 years
Three-year
that's required by the bylaw.
All right, so, make a motion that we grant the variance in accordance with 305-10.11. Looking for relief.
And the basis is that the town has adopted a zoning change that is
Change that
pending
has-
approval,
doesn't
which
get
eliminates that requirement.
Yeah, 305-11.09.C.6. So, what Bob said. Everyone in?
I am.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Go Renzi, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellis, aye.
Now let's do the special permit. 22-39A, Sarah Dennis Silver and Deacon Silver, 227 Webster Ave. We grant the special permit with 305-11.09 to create an accessory apartment in the recently approved bylaw.
So, under 1109C, there's some other conditions that would still apply.
Just this one.
The accessory apartment can't be more than 40% of the total living area of the dwelling. There's only one accessory apartment allowed. You have to comply with Board of Health policies and regulations. The premises have to be equipped with approved water conservation devices and low-flow shower heads and water-efficient toilets. Our principal dwelling has to be occupied, well, the dwelling has to be occupied by the applicant owner as his principal residence. And it's a non-transferable permit that has to be subject to a receipt every year of an affidavit that's submitted to the building commissioner affirming that the premises are properly occupied.
Accept what Bob said and make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Larry
Do we have to do the 1 to 10?
No,
Andrew?
it's different. This is a special
Oh,
permit.
special permit, that's
for an
right.
accessory
For
apartment.
accessory apartment, we don't need those. All right, so, motion to approve.
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Go Renzi, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellis, aye.
All right, you're done. Are you with us on
Thank you very
another one?
much. I don't know, what's your next one?
Frozen 4, 20.
No,
I think you have to go
22.
back to one. You have
What's that?
Hutchinson Road,
Hutchinson, Jamie Robinson.
Jamie Robinson.
The 43, I think you skipped over.
Oh, I did. Jamie Robinson got.
Right.
So 22-43, Jamie Robinson. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-10.12 and a variance in accordance with 305-10.11 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-6.08 to demolish the existing front addition and to construct a 9-foot by 3-inch by 38 by 6-inch rear addition and an 8-foot 6 by 38-foot 6 front addition and a 10-foot 6 by a 39-foot 9 side addition on the property located at 15 Hutchinson Road, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel L10-12-707 and is located in the B3 zoning district.
I'm Dick Rockwood here with Jamie Robinson. We have a very small structure here. They discussed taking off the front porch, but we want to expand but stay on one floor living. We need to have 3 bedrooms in the structure, which you'll see on the floor plan. So that's the existing structure. I did have something marked up that shows where the variance request would be. Right now, the existing house is 21.4 on the right-hand side, and we're proposing to be the 11 feet, which I know the setback in the bylaws is 15 feet, but that's, you'll see why we're requesting the variance. You know, part of our concern is the expense. They don't want to put a second floor on, that in itself gets too expensive. They need the room. They need to stay at this house. The pricing of, trying to move and new homes outweighs, going that direction. Staying here outweighs trying to relocate. And And you feel free to elaborate on, we have the floor plan.
Basically, it's a 700 square foot home, and we have 3 babies, and there's 5 of us in this tiny little dwelling. And you know, I'm a construction worker, and she's an MRI tech, and we just don't have the money to lift it. You know, we're only putting on really bedrooms. Like the kitchen's already done. You know, it's bedrooms in the front and basically a laundry room on the side to fill with all the kids' clothes and our clothes.
So they really want to limit it to the first floor living area. There's a floor plan in here. I think I marked up one. I did it today. I don't know if you got the one that was shaded in yellow. Okay, so it's basically 4 feet on that right-hand side. That's the existing structure. So we're adding 4 feet. We're adding more, but we're 4 feet inside of the 15-foot setback. So pretty much where that little area where the pantry is, that's all within the setback. I don't have a pointer here, but, yeah, and pretty much that. It's really only 4 feet in, so it's half of that pantry area. But without that, we can't get the extra bedroom and the front entry and the closets, and, I mean, it's really still a very tight but workable space. So, you know, we feel that we've kind of constrained it in using what's already existing, that's already been built out, you know, to keep the expenses down on the addition. Pretty much what we're requesting. You know, some of the bedroom areas there, the kitchen was there, and we're just trying to limit the amount of work and make the house work to give them the proper space that they need to live in.
Is that it? Andrew, you have any thing to offer?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is in a flood zone, so I don't see how this cannot be a substantial improvement. So you know, again, this is gonna be all determined on a substantial improvement determination. I don't see how it can't be, this kind of expansion.
Which we would then require, I think we're off like 8 inches height-wise, so we might be able to, if we had to lift and expand, extend the foundation up, but we'll cross that with our pricing. We haven't gotten to the stage of getting pricing and trying to satisfy the numbers with the building department, but we know that we have to do that.
So you understand what they mean by the substantial improvement?
Yeah, it's 15%.
Okay.
We've discussed that.
Okay.
Do you have anything, Bob?
Andrew, this is in the B3 district, right?
It is.
It's changed to R3, right?
Sorry,
Is it?
I'll get it for you there just a sec.
The business zone, is it?
Yes, B3.
Oh, it is.
Because the setback requirements are different in the B3 than the R3.
Right, aren't they?
It's 20 feet of frontage, 5 feet side yard setbacks, 15 feet rear yard setbacks, with a maximum height of 35 feet.
Yep.
With accessory buildings 20 feet off the front street line and 10 feet from any others.
So do
My
you,
understanding was if when you're in that combination district, if you're doing something that's business, it uses the business setbacks, but if it's strictly residential, it has to use the residential. Am I right on that? That it has to, it's an
I think that's in an RB district.
Oh, in an RB.
RB, Dick, this is
According
strictly.
to the
I
table
know
of density
B3.
and regulations, it's any permitted use in a B3.
B3.
Okay.
So would they even need a variance?
They wouldn't need a variance
Wouldn't
from
need
the
a
side
variance.
setback requirement.
For any use, okay.
Yeah. They wouldn't need the variance, and they already have the pre-existing non-conforming on the front.
But when you add that amount of room, I think Andrew's correct.
Well, then Andrew's-
You're gonna run into a problem where
Right.
you're gonna need to elevate the structure.
Right.
That's a
That's still,
separation.
But they're gonna run into it if they do.
So what would that change, Bob, from the prior one? Would they have to come back to us, or as long as they stay within that footprint?
Well, it's up to you guys to decide, you know? I mean, as long as they remain within the height requirements, you can bless it, but
Yeah.
But we're not blessing the variance, we're not saying it's a B3.
you don't need
it.
you don't need a variance for, because it's 5 feet
5 feet.
Okay.
in the B3.
11, so they're good.
So they meet all the standards in the
Yeah.
pre-existing non-conforming status.
But to
covers
contain their cost, if they did have to go with it,
Is it even a
they wouldn't
special
have to come
permit?
back again, correct?
It's not a variance, is it actually a special permit?
This is also in the inland wetland district,
Yeah,
too.
so this is,
For that reason.
so Bob,
It's outside the inland wetlands.
Oh, it is?
Bob, because it's B3, isn't B3 a 5,000 square foot?
This is 15 here. The inland wetlands is just this little corner, so
All right.
they're well within the tolerances for being in the inland wetlands district.
Okay, so when I couldn't tell at home, so,
Yeah, no, I know, because it's right on the line.
okay.
But is the B3, is that a 5,000 square foot zone?
B3 is 5,000.
Yeah, it's 5,000.
So they don't need a special permit either, right?
Do they have 5,000
Or
square
is it
feet?
because of the non-conforming?
I
one
actually thought
piece?
that, well, front yard setback, they're not 20 feet off the street.
But it's pre-existing non-conforming.
Yeah,
So they
it's a
do need a special
Non-conforming
permit.
structure, so anytime you alter it,
Additional, yeah.
Yeah.
you'd need
They
that special
also
permit.
don't have the minimum lot width, which is 80 feet. They've got 59.4, so technically that's the non-conformity, is they don't have the lot width.
Yeah, lot width and
Or the
frontage.
frontage.
All right, so they do need the special permit. But we can cross out the variance.
Yeah, I had an issue with the plot plan too. It wasn't stamped. It's done by Bob Crawford or EET, but it wasn't stamped. So that needs to be done.
All right, so we can
Okay,
get that stamped.
we'll get that into your stamped.
All right, so we now, assuming that this is strictly a special permit, we don't need the variance, and they need the same, they still need the same relief on the special permit,
They need the 1012 relief.
and that's it?
Correct. And then depending on whether it's a substantial improvement, they may have to elevate.
So we don't need the variance.
So you deny the variance
As moot.
as moot.
Grant the
There's
special
no
permit.
inland wetland district issue.
There is no inland wetland.
Correct. So now you're just acting on the special, so the motion would be to deny the variance as moot, deny any request under the inland wetland district regulations as moot, and then to grant or deny the special permit under 1012, subject to conditions.
I'll adopt Bob's language.
Yeah.
All right, so do we have any questions from the audience? Joe?
Joe Pasevich, Wilson Road. Are you sure about the B3 zoning district?
Well, it's the I know it's 5,000 square feet in there.
That's fine, but it is B3, because I'd like to see that map again that shows the houses on the street. Yeah, could you zoom out a little bit? Where is Ocean Street?
Can you overlay the B3 district?
Ocean Street's right here.
Which house is it we're talking about? The second one in?
Yeah.
I think it's technically the third.
Third.
Clearly in the B3 district.
And the house next to it is?
Which one, Joe?
Okay,
That one?
yeah.
Number 6, or I mean number 19?
Yeah. Interesting, okay.
That's not in it. This technically, we don't have a lot in the B3.
E3.
That's in the B3.
Oh, wow.
And you're saying, one other point, if I may, Mr. Chairman, the inland district, inland wetlands district, you say it's only just got a corner? Is that what that dark shaded area is?
The dark shaded area is any wetlands district, whether it's inland or coastal wetlands, is shaded in red on the GIS.
And where is the R3 on that? Where's the boundary between the B3 and R3?
So here's the R3.
I can see it.
It's the green.
The green is R3?
B3.
No, B3 is
B3
green.
is the green, R3
Yes,
is
everything else.
around it.
And the house again is where on there?
Third one in.
Third one in.
15.
Right there. Can you see it? So even the next two next to it are in.
I see. Okay. Well, my comment is you're reducing the side setback from an existing 21 feet to 11 feet. That's apparently what the plan is. That existing right side setback is 21.
But they only have to meet 5
It would
feet.
still be conforming.
But you only have to meet 5, I'm sorry, what?
5 feet makes it conform. In that B3 district, they only have to be 5 feet from the side lot line, so they're not, it's all allowed of right. Any other questions?
No, it's just that it's already a very
No, I
congested
understand.
neighborhood. And obviously the zoning has to be changed, because if everybody now makes a big house
In the
to within
P3.
5 feet of their boundaries,
Yep.
it's just obviously a bizarre error in zoning that should not exist.
I understand what you're saying.
Those are small streets, that's a congested neighborhood, and if you start putting houses within 10 feet of each other, all up and down that area, wow.
Thank you, Joe. So, now, what was I back to? Was I closed it? Did I close this?
You need to close the
Yeah,
public
all
hearing.
right, so, make a motion that we close 22-43, Jamie, am I pronouncing that right? Jamie Robinson, 15 Hutchinson Road. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensey, aye.
Heidi Coe.
Chris Wallace, aye.
All right, now,
So the issue is you would deny the variance as moot, deny the special permit under the inland wetland district as moot, and you'd act only on the special permit request.
okay. So we're gonna deny the variance as moot. We're gonna deny the special permit under the inland wetlands as moot. And we're going to just focus on 305-10.12. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you're moving to deny the variance as moot, moving to deny the special permit in the inland wetlands
As moot,
and then you're moving to grant or deny the special permit.
okay. So we denied those as moot, and we're going to grant the special permit from 305-10.12. So do I have?
Subject to conditions.
Subject to conditions, and do I have to do the 1 to 10 on that 305, 10, 12?
Yes.
Andrew, can you put them up there? So does the board agree with 1 to 10 on the general conditions?
I do.
I do. Everybody good? All right, so, and you want me to say, need a lot
Move to
plan?
grant the
Move-
special permit under 1012
Move to grant the special
Based on a
permit under
finding-
1012.
based on a finding that the proposal meets those general conditions.
Based on the
Subject-
finding that the proposal meets these general conditions, 1 to 10.
Subject to the building permit, occupancy permit, and as-built plan, and
And a stamp on the original.
a potential substantial improvement determination by the building commissioner.
Everything Bob said. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
Brian Murphy, all in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Henslee, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Middlesex, aye.
All right, that was good, huh? Worked out better than you thought.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good luck.
All right, so now we're on the Frozen 4, 22-45. Are they here?
I saw Steve got out in the hallway.
Maybe I was missing a step here.
Yeah, you're up.
Who's next?
Frozen 4, on the second page, top second page. G.
I thought Joe was here for this.
Is everyone this evening?
Disappeared. Good. Bumbling through this. All right, 22-45, Frozen 4 Corporation, DBA South Shore Buds. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-10.12 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to modify a special permit number 20-49 and change the retail hours of the operation Monday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the property located at 985 Plain Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel C10-02-05A and is located in the I-1 zoning district. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. For the record, I'm Attorney Steve Gard with Gard Law LLC in Hanover, Massachusetts. With me this evening, as you all know, is Ben Verga, the proprietor of South Shore Buds. This is relative to 985 Plain Street, where there is an existing cannabis retail store that has already been approved by special permit, site plan approval, as well as a modification to the site plan, site plan and special permit previously. We're here this evening before you is just to change the hours, the start hours from 10 o'clock Monday through Thursday, Monday through Saturday to 8 a.m. Monday through Saturday. The petition, the amendment that we did last time, we also included senior hours from 8 to 10, so we're already open 2 days a week from 8 to 10 for seniors. We are going to still allow the seniors at least 2 days a week to be have their own registers, up to 2 registers dedicated for seniors, so it's from 8 to 10, so they'll still have the express line to get in and get out. They won't have to sit around. I would imagine, for the most part, we may even do that more than 2 days a week, but for right now, it's just 2 days a week for the seniors to be able to come and go. The before you this evening is, of course, the application and the Form 2C proposed finding of facts, and I did a project narrative. The narrative repeats a lot of the things that we did last time, because with special permits, we're supposed to reapply and get a new one as opposed to modification. But you were kind enough to take the initiative last time not to republish the whole thing and just change the senior hours, and I forget the other change that we made last time.
Delivery.
Delivery, that's right, delivery. So that was a very easy amendment. The only other thing that we are looking for this evening, which came about, is that the corner of the property on Lone Street, where it meets Plain Street, is landscaped right now with mulch and soft loam. In the 18-wheelers and the giant trucks that come from Lone Street, they always, they have to cut the corner to make that corner, because we all know that Lone Street connection to Plain Street is really sharp and turned. So what we're just asking for this evening is I have some photographs that Ben brought that just shows the ruts in the mulch. We just want to, we've already talked to, the Board of Selectmen and other town officials. We just want to remove the mulch and put down a little bit more packable soil, and then put some just regular stone in there, like gravel, driveway stone, so that when the trucks hit it, they'll have a little bit more of a solid base to make the turn, and they won't be sinking into that area. We will be coming before you after this application for a site plan approval to modify the landscape plan that that y'all approved way back when. We're gonna change, and we're gonna propose to change and make the landscaping a little bit more robust, probably replace the mulch with grass and some other plantings to make it look a little bit more like
That's what we're talking about.
I would suggest the motorcycle shop next door.
We're gonna call it the Lynn Fiddler Memorial Change.
Yes, Ms. Fiddler, who's obviously now a selectman, it was always something that she'd hoped that we were able to, enhance and make.
That picture you have there is from a couple weeks ago, but that basically happens every other day as far as the smashing of that. And that's town land. So the reason we're asking is because we donated that to the town a couple years back, and so we actually don't control that portion of it, but it is part of our landscaping.
But it was part of our landscape plan. So going back to the hours of operation, as far as the 8 to 10, Ben feels that we're not going to increase it'd probably be about a 10% increase in the number of patrons, right?
Yeah. So we just hired a new director of retail who's luckily for us very smart and knows things about retail. So he did the calculations on our customer flow through during the day, and we get about 25% of all of our customers between 4:30 and 6 p.m. And he estimates that about 50% of those people would be actually coming before work instead of after work if we were open earlier. And he also calculates that we're losing about 5 to 10% of potential revenue by not being open before work, because 10 o'clock, we do have a bunch of people waiting for us to open at 10 o'clock. So by opening earlier, we would actually increase revenue, which benefits the town, obviously, and it would also reduce our traffic in the afternoons between 4:30 and 6 p.m. So it seems like a win-win situation as far as that goes. We would not have to increase our staff in order to do it. We'd just be making some scheduling changes, but I think it would see a double-digit revenue increase with a double-digit reduction in traffic in the afternoons between 4:30 and 6, when most of our highest volume is.
So what about the traffic at 8 in the morning?
We don't think it would impact that as far as with people on their way to work already. So they would just be stopping in on their way to work. They would be coming out to the store specifically for that time.
They'd be crossing 139.
Yep.
There's no light there yet.
Not
Yet.
Not yet.
Where's that at? Do any of you know?
The light, I'm glad you asked. So we're in really good shape. The Mass DOT has us at a 75% approval right now. That's how they rank you, 25, 50, 75. So we have approval from the Board of Selectmen last Monday to file the plan before you folks, because that plan will be coming your way. That plan's been vetted through the DPW and other folks as well, because obviously it involves the DPW, the new DPW barn. We are, in concept, all of the parties that own land that will be subject to the plan are in agreement. We're just waiting for one of the parties to just come together and give me the written authorization. I'm told by their attorneys that they are close to giving us the authorization, but.
We'll take about.
And it is literally fully designed and engineered. So-
Once it's approved at the town level, it'll take about 120 days for the light to be installed.
Yeah. So it's a top priority for us once we get the go-ahead from the remaining two landowners.
How's the traffic been? So I haven't really noticed the traffic.
Been
Out
no-
there at 139.
There's been, there's been zero, in my opinion, there's been zero impact of the traffic there, and we obviously speak with the Marshfield Police Department quite frequently just to make sure we're doing everything right, and we actually spoke with Chief Tavares before we made this, just to make sure he was okay with us making this petition, and he was fully supportive of it, so I think it's had very little to no impact on the town, to be honest, us being open. I mean, we see anywhere from 400 to 500 people a day there, and I don't think anyone in town really feels the impact of that in any way, shape, or form, so.
Now, how many parking spaces do you have here? Don't you
We have 83.
And that's never full, right?
The only time we've ever been full was our event on April 23rd, which went off without a hitch, and we had over 600 people that day, and
What, is that like,
it was a festival type thing on a Saturday.
whatever day that is?
Yeah, it was, 420, yes, Weed Super Bowl. But other than that, yeah, our parking lot's usually, it's funny, most people come up to me and they're like, oh, it's too bad about the store. I'm like, did it burn down? What are you talking about? They act like someone died. And because we have so many parking spots, people think that no one goes. So everyone's kind of like talking to me like I'm ill, like, oh, no one's going there. Oh, yeah.
just
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
In fact, like I know recently, like at 1:30, I just sometimes, I've been around more during the day, it's brutal. But I haven't noticed.
Yeah, nope, I think we're, I mean, I'm there almost every day. I have no trouble going left or right, and I'm never behind another car trying to exit the parking lot. So, yeah, like I said, we're, our lowest day will be about 300 people. Our highest day will be about 500 people during the week, and I have not personally heard of or received any complaints at all, and we do try to keep a good eye on that, just to make sure we're not causing any problems.
And the flow throughout the day, Ben, is...
It's very spread out, yeah.
So the
But
500
I mean,
people-
that 4:30 to 6 is our highest traffic area, but, and again, I think a lot of those people are post-work stoppers that would come in before, and I think there's also a bunch of people that would come in before work that don't have the ability to because we're opening at 10 a.m. So I think it will have zero impact on our traffic, but I think it actually will help traffic, and I also think it will increase revenue, but keep that kind of the spread out throughout the day. And we keep Sunday at 12 to 8 as it is.
So currently, you're already opening 2 days a week at 8 a.m., is that correct?
We have the ability to, yes.
You have the ability to. So basically, you're looking for an additional 8 hours a week.
Yep.
You're looking for.
And again, there's no. I would tell you that we might not start at 8 a.m. right off the bat. I'm not. We might start at 8:30.
You just want to have the ability.
Have the
of doing
ability, so we don't have to keep coming back. And as we figure it out, we might start at 9, and in a couple weeks from now, we might start at 8:30. But I'm not 100% sure we'll ever go to 8, but we might. It just depends on what we'll see what the customer turnout is at those times as we come. If we end up with a few people queued up at 8:30, we can always go to the 8. Our goal all along has been to never have a line. So people drive by and there's no one outside waiting to get in the store, and I think that works very well for everybody, including the town, because it gives people the sense that they don't need to cram in at a certain time, that it's available throughout the day, and they can stop it at their leisure, and I think that works very well for everybody.
Oh, I live right in that area. I go by there quite often, and I gotta agree with you that I haven't noticed any type of traffic congestions or issues coming and going. Lone Street, besides your neighbors running over your stop sign there, Besides that, it appears to be running pretty efficiently.
Yes, we have a very good team. We're very lucky. They just don't allow me to make any decisions. It works out well for everyone.
Any more questions from the board?
So have you haven't, you had the ability to open at 8 for seniors, but you haven't yet?
We've only done it on one occasion. After we did a program at the Marshfield Senior Center, we offered an opportunity for people to come in and stuff, and it's kind of, it really doesn't change any of the operation at all. It's just we're opening a little earlier. I mean, we're not terribly crowded in the morning. I mean, if you look at, we have obviously data that shows sales by hour. I mean, 10 and 11 a.m. are much less than the afternoon. But again, we think that, so we think we'll have a good stream between, the 8:30, 9:30, 8 to 10, whatever range that we go with. But we're not talking about this, the stream. But what it will do is lessen our busiest time of 4:30 to 6.
So I just want to understand this. You came before us in December, was it, Steve? Somewhere around that time?
Sorry?
You came before us back in December for the senior hours?
Yeah, either that or just November or December.
Yeah. Okay, we had a fairly extensive presentation about the need for seniors to have access in the morning, and you discussed access to the parking lot and not having to deal with younger people and things of mobility. You've been open once since then?
Well, what we've discovered from our senior programming is that the seniors don't mind coming in the afternoon. Our senior turnout, we had a great turnout.
Question is simple. You've been open once since then?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Mainly because when we asked the seniors, they were coming at 3 o'clock.
After Mahjong.
Hey, they can come in whenever they'd like.
So when you're saying that the 4:30 to 6:30, that's your busiest time, that you're trying to alleviate the traffic, so you're thinking that they're going to come in on the way to work instead of,
I think we're
how do you
estimating
figure
over
that? How do you
this-
go about coming up with that?
Yeah, we have our director of retail. This is what he does. Yeah, we hired him out of a place in Worcester. He's been in the business for a long time. He knows what he's talking about, and our model is pretty simple. We hire smart people, so we don't have to be smart ourselves. And one of the first things he said when we hired him was, "We need to open earlier. We're missing out. We have too many people that are coming after work that we prefer not to, and we're missing out on some of the before work crowd." So I mean, I'm
So it's from a money standpoint that you're missing
I think
business?
it's about customer.
I'm just
flow.
trying to look at the whole picture,
Yeah,
like
it's
where
more
you
about
got your
customer
numbers
flow. I
from.
think what people like about shopping at South Shore Buds is they're able to walk right into the store, they're able to get right up to a bud tender, they're able to make their transaction and be in and out in just a few minutes.
Right.
It's not the ordeal that it was when legalization first happened in 2018, lines out the door. I think it's an easy shopping experience, and this will help make it an even easier shopping experience for everybody in the town, depending on what time of the day they want to come. And I think that, 139 is very busy between 4:30 and 6. You got everyone's coming out of work, people are going out, kids have sports, et cetera, et cetera. So even if it's only a 5% reduction in our traffic at 4:36, that's a help to the town. And, people that are stopping on their way to work are stopping in on their way to work. They're not, they're making a quick stop, they know what they're purchasing, and they're getting on the road, getting on Route 3 up to Boston.
So have you found that your delivery has limited your
No, delivery's
people
been
coming
great.
in? Or, I mean, has that
delivery's-
helped with the traffic? Is that was supposed to be helping with the traffic
I
as
think
well,
it's
from what
it's
I
it's
understand?
taken a while for the South Shore to understand that home delivery is actually a real thing. It's very prevalent in Boston, but we're starting to see more and more South Shore orders come in on a daily basis. When we started delivery back in December, I think our best day was 8 deliveries, and our best day was 48 deliveries just a couple weeks ago. So it takes a while. Delivery's brand new, and most people, if you ask them, like we were just a sponsor of the Chamber of Commerce's golf tournament, and we had our delivery company with a tent there, and almost every single person who came up to the tent said, wait, what? You can bring it to my house? And these were all Marshfield residents. So I think it's just, people are still wrapping their head around the concept of that it's not just Amazon that will deliver. And so I think it will continue to alleviate over time.
Bob, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, the landscape issue isn't really on your part of your meeting thing, but what trucks are causing this type of damage to the stop sign and the island?
That there was, I'm not going to say the name of the company because they did come and fix it, was a local landscaping company that at 2:30 in the morning just drove right over it. Unfortunately, we do have 87 cameras, so we know exactly who did it and what time they did it. But mostly it's a lot of the guys that are going up into the businesses on Lone Street, and they're trying to make that turn and they can't.
Andrew has a picture up there.
Yep.
That stop sign is at the stop line that's right at the
Correct.
entrance driveway.
Yep.
So was a landscaper that was coming to your property?
Nope.
No.
Someone that turned around somewhere else and
Yep.
came through your lot?
Exactly. But most of the damage, those ruts that are there, most of the damage is from bigger trucks that are coming into Lone Street.
They drove over a public sign.
Yes, actually, I don't know if it's public or not, but they definitely drove
Well,
over
if it's in the layout of the street, it's public. And,
Yeah, they drove right over it, yes.
That sign cost more than $250, and
They replaced it.
the company did?
Yep.
Did they fix the landscape island
Yes,
that
they
they
did.
drove over? All right.
It makes it a lot easier when you can tell them exactly what time they did it, what the license plate of the truck was, and what color hat he was wearing. It's hard to argue with that, but yes. But I mean, as soon as we replace it, it gets driven over again. And again, it's, I remember when we were before this same board, when we got our special permit, one of the members of this board said the reason why they liked this business in that location was it's the first building you see when you drive into town, and it had always been an eyesore. They knew we were going to make it look nice, even if they didn't agree or support the business. And, no matter how many times we rake it up, they just drive right over it. And
I mean, what we do downtown Marshfield is we put bollards up.
well, I know, but if we put bollards up at 10 grand a pop, those bollards will just get knocked out by the 18-wheelers. What we'd rather do is just put a crushed stone there so we could just send a guy out with a rake and make it look pretty every morning.
I think what happens is the big trucks have to swing to the right to come down, so that
And
they
go
can-
left.
yeah,
I've seen them,
go
they
left.
have to drive by and
think,
come back and come from the other side in order to make that swing.
Is that what
Yeah, I think a lot of it is the guys
I
going,
saw
coming out
one
and
of
going
them
left.
tearing up the thing in there. It was
The
a big
people coming out of the
18-wheeler box
motorcycle
truck.
business?
No,
No.
they're
No, it's
great neighbors.
It's the big
You can
box
see
trucks.
look
They
at the
can't
trucks
make
up
that
there.
swing.
See them, Bob? There's trucks on the road right now. I'm not saying they did it, but they're a big, that's a semi truck, right?
But I mean,
Yeah.
when those trucks come out,
They swing to the right to make the left, because they're too
it
long.
looks pretty straight to me.
When they
I
come
think a
in,
lot of it is larger trucks making
Coming
this
in.
left-hand
Making that swing
turn,
right
having, this is a tight turn for
Oh,
a
they're
large
coming
truck,
in.
so they
Yeah,
have to take
coming
a
in.
Coming in,
right
I'm sorry.
turn,
I
and
thought
that's
they
what
had
it's
two coming
for.
out.
no, I've seen both.
Oh,
Yeah, it is both, without a doubt.
I'm not a truck driver.
That's not before us.
We had asked, because we don't technically own the land, so we had asked the town administrator and the select board, and we were told to bring it up with the ZBA because they didn't have an issue with it. I mean, they just said to bring it up with you guys.
But Bob, it's not published, we can't.
You can't.
Okay, we'll include it when we come before you on the landscape thing next time.
Well, no, so I understand, it's public land, so what we would probably need to do is
You
talk
need
to
a
the
letter
selectmen
from
and
the
DPW
select board
to go
authorizing you to
Yeah.
ask to make those improvements in the layout of the way.
Yeah, we can do that.
Perfect. That's
can
the way we'll
take
do
care
that.
of
All right, so we're just assuming the hours.
Yes.
So any more questions from the board on the hours? Anything from the audience? All right, so I'll make a motion to close 22-45 Frozen 4 Corporation, DBA South Shore Buds, 985 Plain Street. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Is this closing it?
Yeah, we're just
Oh,
closing.
yeah. Heidi Conway, aye.
Closing, Chris Belsos.
Steve Feeney, aye.
So now, Bob, what do I do here for the, is this a minimum, de minimis?
De minimis.
So this is
change.
a change?
It's a special permit to change the hours.
Change the hours, all right. So we already discussed it, right? We ready to vote?
For the public, do we ask the public?
Yeah, I already
We
asked the
did.
public, yeah.
Sorry.
The only other thing I think the board needs to think about is, there's another person there's two businesses that are permitted. This one is the only one that's up and running. The other one may come out at some point. And both of those businesses are gonna be wanted to treat the same, so you'll have, if you do the hours here, then you're gonna be asked to do the same at the other place, I assume, so that they're competitive with one another.
Do we know what's going on with the other place? Just speaking of them, how long does that permit last?
I don't know, they probably had some protection of the Permit Extension Act, but I don't really know, I haven't looked.
All right, so I can make a motion to accept the hours.
Grant a special permit modification allowing the change in hours.
So make a motion to grant a special permit modification to accept the new hours in the special permit. Do I have to mention 305-10-12?
Yep.
For 305-10-12,
Yep.
to modify special permit number 20-49. And change the retail hours of operation on Mondays through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 8 a.m. on the property located at 895 Plain Street, further identified as parcel C10-02-05A, and is located in the I-1 zoning district. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
So all those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, no.
Chris Belsos, no.
Steve Feeney, aye.
So now we have to figure out who the voting members are on this.
Who are the voting members?
So it would be Larry, myself, Heidi, Steve, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's not JJ.
Well, you'd go with your
Chris.
regular members first.
Right, so that's,
So that'd be Larry, yourself, Heidi, Chris, and Steve. And then Grover's the first associate.
right.
I think I'm still an associate, but I'm the first associate.
No, they put you up.
So that's 3-2.
3-2.
That fails.
Fails, all right.
So you'll issue a written decision in case they want to
We'll issue a
appeal it.
decision based on
Okay,
that.
thank you.
We'll issue a decision based on that. All right, now we have 22-46, Mark and Meg Anderson.
Oh, I'm recused from that.
You are?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna skip Schneider and go down and do the next three. And then we'll go back to Schneider. Petitioners are seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-10.12 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to add 2 feet bump out to the kitchen area located at the rear of a dwelling to create a 17-foot 4 by 15-foot 4 kitchen on the property located at 79 Marginal Street, which is further identified on assessor's maps as being on parcel M06-03-09 and is located in an R3 zoning district. This is
I'm
you?
Dick Rockwood, here to represent the Andersons. We are doing a one-story 2-foot bump out on what already exists as a kitchen. I came in a month ago, but we didn't do it as a special permit. I think I asked for a de minimis or an RDA type of thing. So you should have that, where is it now? It's that 16-foot area right there in the back. So we're extending 2 more feet out in that area. It's on a plan marked up, and it's on my architectural plans. And it's a 1-story kitchen, and it has a roof deck above it. That's that shaded yellow area. So the description was a little on the heavy side, because someone had used what was in the kitchen description. So it's a 16 by 2-foot area that we're requesting. It's in our right-to-build area. But we did not ask for it when we came for the original approval of the house, so. And that is it.
All right. Any questions from the board?
I'm good.
Andrew, you have anything to add?
No.
Bob? Nope. All right, I'll make a motion that we, the public? Nothing? Make a motion that we close 2246 Mark and Meg Anderson, 79 Marginal Street. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Corbin Housley, aye. Chris Bellows, aye.
All right. Now I'll make a motion that we approve, that we grant the special permit for 2246 Mark and Meg Anderson in accordance with 305-10.12 on the dwelling located at 79 Marginal Street, also identified as parcel number M06-03-09, and is located in R3 zoning district. And Andrew, can you put up the 10 items that finding? Everyone agrees with the following conditions, 1 through 10?
Yes.
Adopt that. And they'll need a occupancy permit, plot plan.
All those conditions are already attached to the original special permit.
All right, good.
Okay.
So, anything else, Bob? All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Corbin Housley, aye. Chris Bellows, aye.
Great,
Done.
thank you.
Now I'm gonna skip Snyder, and we're gonna go to 2248. Chris Morris, is he here?
Evening.
Evening. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with, hey, will you tell Heidi to come back in? Special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct a 16-foot by 25-foot 2-story addition and a 7-foot-10 single-story addition on the property located at 33 Leland Road, which is further identified in the assessor's maps as being on parcel M07-14-08 and is located in an R3 zoning district.
Yes, I am a lifelong Marshfield resident, and I have a wife and 3 daughters, 2 of them which live at home. The present living conditions are pretty cramped. There's any closets that we have are were added on, but just with clothes racks. I'd like to put an addition where the deck is existing. It doesn't come within 30 feet of the rear property, and it's we're not going out any further on the sides. I'm just going to go do an 8-foot, 8 by 10 on the side to bump out the utility room I have and just add 2 floors in the back. I believe everything is within where it should be.
Okay. Andrew, you have any questions?
No, this was very straightforward one.
Bob? Anything from the board?
I'm good.
Anything from the public? Okay, I'll make a motion that we close 22-48 Christopher Morris, 33 Leland Road. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Gorenzi, aye.
Now I make a motion that we accept and grant 22-48 Christopher Morris, special permit from 305-10.12 of the Marshfield Municipal Code, located on 33 Leland Road, also identified as parcel number M07-14-08 in the R3 zoning district. And do we accept the following general conditions, 1 to 10?
Do.
We do. And he'll need a building permit, plot plan, and as-built. Anything else, Andrew?
Certified as-built and a certificate of occupancy.
Certificate of occupancy. All right, do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Gorenzi, aye. Chris Bellows, aye.
Steve Feeney, aye.
Done.
That's
Thanks.
it.
What was
Thank
the
you.
certified as-built and what was the other one? Certificate of
It's all the same stuff he'll give you on the building.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
All the
See you,
best,
Andrew.
John.
I'll have Dick for up first.
So next, we're gonna do Lynn Labrador. Is this like Heidi coming back? Are you Lynn Labrador?
I am.
Well, we're gonna actually just, because we didn't get your stuff on time,
Okay.
so just, you can sit down though. So 22-49 Lynn Labrador, the petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1012 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to construct 31-foot-7 dormer on the right and an 11-foot-7 dormer on the right rear of the property located at 111 Ashburn Avenue, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel M08-20-06 and is located in the R3 zoning district. So we're gonna move to continue this to 6:14 to give the board time to review it. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Gorenzi, aye.
How you going, aye?
Chris Bellows, aye.
Feeney, aye.
So we'll see you on the 14th.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Just so, I was all set, because your last person was a lifetime Marshfield resident. I just moved here from New York, and this has been a complete nightmare. And not you guys. I mean, let me just be real clear.
Today.
Might be you coming from New York.
That might be. I've been getting tortured pretty good since I got here. But yeah, I found out, thankfully Nancy sent me an email saying, we don't have any of your info, so I apologize, guys, but.
No, don't worry about it. You'll be all set on the 14th.
No, I'm not, you're not from New York, originally, are you?
I grew up in Connecticut, and went to Yale, and actually spent 20 years in Virginia on jobs, and
Nah, you're okay.
I'm okay. Well, you be careful, because I'm a hardcore Yankees, Giants. I am tortured on the regular.
You better stop right there.
Because I'll never get approved, is that what you're saying?
I'm a Yankee fan, but not a Giants
Thank you.
fan. Never be a Giants fan.
So, thank you
Lynn, We
guys.
haven't all put you through the ringer, have we?
We're not going there. I'm gonna go over to South Buds now, so.
There you go.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. All right, we have 22-50 Pericles Barinos. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-1109 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to create a 445 square foot accessory apartment with the existing dwelling on the property located at 1395 Main Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being parcel E15-01-13 and is located in the R1 zoning district. How you doing?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking your time to review this. My name is Pericles Marinos. This is my wife, Jessica. 12 Heritage Hill, which is 1395 Main Street. Pretty straightforward. It's in existence, and we're just looking for the accessory apartment permit. It's less than 40%. The total square footage is 2185, which I think there was 874 allowable, and it's only 445 square feet. Everything's already in place. The entrance is in the rear. It has its own driveway on the right. That's pretty much the nutshell on it. Yeah.
Any questions from the board? Andrew, you have anything?
No.
Bob?
Nope.
Does the board have any questions?
I'm good.
All right, seeing that there's none, what's it, public? Oh, public. Public left. Okay, so, make a motion that we close 22-50 Pericles Marinos, 1395 Main Street. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Ryan Murphy, aye.
Robert Hensley, aye.
Heidi Coney, aye.
Chris Belzo, aye.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve 22-50 and grant the special for Pericles Marinos for the special permit in accordance with 305-11.09 for an accessory apartment. And we're gonna include 1 to 10 here. Do I have to add anything else, Bob? All right, and so Andrew, does he need as-built and all that stuff?
He will not need an as-built unless they make any structural changes, within the space, removing bearing walls and putting in some sort of structural beam in its place. They won't need a certificate of occupancy either. Although I do believe just the fact that we're creating an accessory dwelling unit should probably require a certificate of occupancy as far as that goes. But as far as, unless they're not doing any structural changes, I don't know that there's a requirement in the bylaw. The one thing I would say is just to pay attention to the water conservation devices. Is that is a requirement I feel has gotten overlooked in the past.
All right, thank you.
So it'd be subject to the standard conditions that are required for accessory apartments.
Okay. All right, so do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Robert Hensley, aye.
Heidi Coney, aye.
Chris Belzo, aye.
Thank you.
Have a good night, thank you.
Hey, who, can someone do the Grady one here?
Who is the
Heidi, do you want to do this? We'll throw it right at Bellazo's.
Give it a Chris.
You gonna do it? Chris, you and mine?
This one.
What's the number?
John Snyder is at 2247 Spring Street, 247 Spring?
Yep. No, I know, but I want to finish. No, come on, I'll be back.
Have a good day.
2247 John Snyder. Reading to the record, the petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with section 305-1301C to perform limited clearing of trees required for the installation / construction of utilities in a driveway to serve a single-family dwelling on the property located at 247 Spring Street, which is further identified on the assessor's map as being on parcel D 19-05-17 and is located in the R1 zoning district and inland wetlands overlay district. Somebody here for the petitioner.
Yes, good evening, Nicholas Lang from Grady Consulting on behalf of John Snyder, the applicant. So what we have here is essentially a lot development project for a single-family home. We went through Conservation, Board of Health quite a while ago, actually, it seems at this point. And regrettably, we got to the point where trees were cleared and driveway construction was getting ready to commence, and it was made aware to us that we had missed a permit from your board. So actually, at our suggestion, we had Mr. Snyder cease all work immediately, and I believe he actually removed or had the contractor remove vehicles from the site within about a day or two, until we were able to make a point of getting before you folks here. So the reason that we are before you, maybe a little hard to tell, is the Inland Wetland Overlay District. It kind of cuts right through the entrance here. So really the only work proposed within that district would be the driveway and utilities that cut through there and the tree clearing that would be associated with that. All of the structures and other site work associated with the development take place outside of the Inland Overlay District. So regrettably, this was something that was missed, it seems, by just about everybody until it was a little bit too late. But thus we are here before you tonight to see if this is something that is permissible to be continued.
Okay, so we're not here to address any issues of enforcement prior to this event. We're here simply to vote on this application now, Bob?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
So basically, this project is already underway, you just need the clearing of that area right there for the driveway.
And that area actually has already been cleared.
Oh, it's already been done?
All of that stuff was already done by the time we were made aware of the mistake, so we
So you're just here for
ceased everything
documentation,
immediately.
the document was currently in existence.
Wanted to make sure we did this appropriately.
Anybody else on the board? Bob, anything?
Nick, does any of the work that you're gonna do affect the flow of any type of surface water or any flood water?
Not that I'm aware. Everything there is a little bit of mounding for the septic system to clear groundwater, but that's all pretty much centered in the site. It should not generally affect any kind of overland flow beyond the primary extents of the clearing area. We've actually maintained a pretty much a straight line all the way down the right-hand sideline for the Safe Conservation Commission, and there's a number of conservation posts that are going in on that. Actually, I think they're already in. The conservation markers, I think they're already in.
Behind that, not that it has anything to do with what you're here to, but what are you doing behind the house just to capture the runoff?
It's actually all kind of already going back and off and to the right into what is already conservation land.
Okay.
So there is, like I mentioned, there is a little bit of grading just to kind of separate the dwelling and the septic system from groundwater. We do have a swale that is pushing it around the side so as not to bring anything to the, I believe the left abutter is a residence. So we do have a swale proposed to make sure that that does not continue off in that direction.
I mean, the chief concern that the board needs to have on inland wetlands projects like this is that you're not doing anything that's gonna create more flooding on this site or on abutting properties, so.
Any other questions from the board? Does any member of the public have any questions? Andrew, you're all good with this?
Yeah, I want to thank the applicant for doing this because this was a shock. We got a complaint about it and we had to respond to it, and really it was kind of something that, like Nick said, we kind of all didn't realize it, and I think it was a learning experience for a lot of us, and I appreciate that the applicant had a positive attitude about the process.
Excellent. At this time, is the board ready to close? Make a motion to close?
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellas, aye.
Steve Feeney, aye.
Matters declared closed. Do we want to deliberate, or are we good?
No. I'm good.
Make a motion to grant the special permit?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Grover Hensley, aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellas, aye. Special permit granted, subject to the standard conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's inland wetland district conditions.
Yeah.
Use the one to six.
A big moment in the sun.
Good job, good job. Is Brian coming back in, or?
He probably doesn't think it's gonna be done anytime soon. Oh, there he is.
Thought you left.
Let me attempt to squeeze back through this.
We have a whole bunch of matters. We have a whole bunch of matters. Man.
So, on the continued hearings,
So he has to withdraw that.
oh,
And then there's two.
Forest Street is gonna be, so I'll read that one in.
Wait, can I just ask about Leland Road? You did that, I was out.
Yeah.
You didn't text me? Okay.
You know what, I asked someone, I said, can someone grab
just
Heidi?
teasing.
We tried to
I
get
don't
you
really
back.
care.
You ignored us.
And I thought you were coming in the room, and I read it, and I was like,
I don't care.
I fiendied you.
Special permit marriage.
All right, 22-35, Dominic C. D'Angelo. The petitioner is seeking a variance in accordance with 305-1011 of the Marshfield Municipal Code for relief from 305-11.09.6C.6 and a special permit in accordance with 305-11.09 to create an accessory apartment within the soon-to-be-constructed 26 by 25 addition on the property located at 1230 Forest Street, which is further identified on the assessor's maps as being on parcel D1602 and is located in the R1 zoning district. This applicant is asked to be withdrawn without prejudice. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Van
Chris Bellows, aye.
Steve Feeney, aye.
All right. 2238, Jason Lucetti. The petitioner is seeking a special permit in accordance with 305-11.09 of the Marshfield Municipal Code to create an approximate 850 square foot accessory apartment within the existing dwelling located on the property at 78 Eldor Circle, which is further identified on the assessor's map as being parcel D1402-12 and is located in the R1 zoning district.
So just to refresh your memory, last time I was here, probably about a month ago, I was informed that...
bedroom thing.
What's that?
The bedroom thing, right?
Yes, the bedroom thing. I was informed that my septic system is not a 5-bedroom septic, it's only a 4-bedroom septic. So I've been working with Rick Grady Consulting about changing that. So I guess I sit here before the board tonight and ask if it could be contingent on the 5-bedroom septic system being developed. Grady just didn't have enough time to look at it, develop it. I sat down with him. He says it's doable. I just have to go through the process and have him develop a plan.
So Bob, can we accept this with the condition that a 5-bedroom plan is supplied?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Done that before.
What's that?
Haven't we done that before?
Yeah. All right, Andrew, you have anything?
No.
All right, so anything from the audience?
He better
Come
not
on,
say anything.
give it on good, negative.
You get
Give
one
him
of
the
those
thumbs
bedrooms,
down.
Better not say anything.
Give him the thumbs down. So,
Get some concessions from him.
yeah. I make a motion that we close 22-38, Jason Lucetti, 78 Eldor Circle, accessory apartment. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Van aye.
Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellows, aye.
All right, thank you for your time.
Well, we gotta make, then I make a motion that
All
we
right.
accept and grant special permit for
Don't go anywhere then.
2238 Jason Lucetti in accordance with 305-11.09 for an 850 square foot accessory apartment at the dwelling located at 78 Eldor Circle, which is also identified as parcel D14-02-12 in the R1 zoning district. And can you throw up our stuff there, Andrew? Our accessory apartment information? So we make a motion, I mean, I include 1 to 10 on the accessory apartments. And do we need anything else, Andrew, here? Just the new septic plan? Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Hello. So,
Most of the 90s,
all right, so I make a motion that we grant that special permit.
No,
Is there a second?
With condition of a 5-bedroom, right?
Yeah, condition of 5-bedroom plan.
Larry Keane, aye.
For 5-bedroom or 4-bedroom?
It's 5, right?
5 bedrooms,
Yeah, it has to be the 5-bedroom.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Grover Van aye.
Oh, Heidi Conway, aye.
Chris Bellows, aye.
Like, somebody's mumbling tonight.
All right. That's it.
All right, thank you for your time.
So is Gabriel
Good luck.
and Helene Holmes here?
Don't believe I've had any other continuance requests since they've requested to continue.
So can we just continue it to the 14th?
You have to be careful because he's asked for a special permit and a variance, and you have to act on a variance within 100 days or
And it's
an
well over
extended
100
time.
days.
Oh, this
So-
Gabriel Holmes?
They've
Yeah.
requested about 4 or 5 continuances.
Do they
because-
know about the 100-day thing?
I don't know.
Where are we at on the 100-day mark?
They're not required to know it, but if they can come to that conclusion and we haven't acted,
Where are we on the 100-day mark?
I think this has been going on since, what's the number?
you're well over it, but
October
they've
or
been
November.
asking for continuances.
Because they kept asking for continuances.
But they didn't ask for one now.
They didn't ask for one now.
Why are they asking?
So you'd have to
Deny
deny,
this
you could deny it without prejudice.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna read in, oh, I don't have to read this in, it's already read in.
That's the best course of action, denying without
Deny.
prejudice, where we haven't heard from.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we deny without prejudice 21-90 Gabriel and Helene Holmes. Special permit 305-13.02.C.01 and 305-10.10 and 305-10.12. So I do the special permit and the variance, right? Do the special permit first? Bob?
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Oh, I know, I.
Chris Bellows will sign.
I'll make a motion that we deny without prejudice 21-90 Gabriel and Helene Holmes. Variance from 305-10.11 and relief from 305.607 in the house located at 76 Carolyn Circle, which is also identified as parcel D20-01, 25B in the R1 zoning district. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Chris Bellows will sign.
Writing to do.
Now, did we have minutes you wanted to accept?
Yes, I already gave them to Larry, so if you could just make a motion to
Okay.
reject the submitted minutes with Scrivener's errors. Right?
Yep.
Scrivener's is just any typos or,
Oh, wait, and we have to confirm Pat Brennan
oh, yes.
as peer review for the solar project. So, do we all agree that Pat Brennan can do the peer review for the solar project?
Absolutely.
So, Larry Keane.
Yes.
Larry Keane, aye. Brian Murphy, aye.
Yes, I.
Chris.
Chris Bellows, aye.
Steve Feeney.
Losing it.
All right, I've lost it. So now we just have the minutes.
Yep.
So you want to just say that we accept them, Larry?
We accept the minutes?
No, move to accept whatever the meeting minutes are.
Do I say that? Move to accept the,
Well, you should at least identify what dates of the meeting minutes you're
move to
accepting.
accept the meeting minutes dated.
Do you want me to go through them, Larry?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I have them back?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, look at the file. Do we have to- Good job, Nance.
Marco.
I got new homework.
Oh, no, we can't because,
February
well, he's not
1st,
sworn in, but we can
2017.
introduce him.
These are some old meeting minutes
These are,
apparently that
catching
we.
up the old, yeah. March 8th, 2017. May 2nd, 2017. May 16th, 2017. August 30th, 2017. October 24th, 2017. July 10th, 2018. September 25th, 2018. October 9th, 2018. February 26th, 2019. March 12th, 2019. March 26th, 2019. April 9th, 2019. June 11th, 2019. September 24th, 2019. October 22nd, 2019. September 22nd, 2020. December 22nd, 2020. June 28th, 2021. June 22nd, 2021. July 13th, 2021. September 14th, 2021. October 26th, 2021. March 22nd, 2022.
All right.
I start them, but I just get involved with all the other stuff.
No, listen, we all know what's going on. We need more help.
I'm
So,
catching up.
You need help. It's not fair. All right, so wait, I make a motion that we accept those minutes. Do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Chris Bellows will sign.
Nice job, Nance.
Is that it? Motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Larry Keane, second.
All those in favor?
Larry Keane, aye.
Brian Murphy, aye.
Brett Barnes, aye.
Heidi County, aye.
Chris Bell's aye.